The Dryad project, financing sustainable community forest enterprises in Cameroon, is a project that is aimed at developing viable community forest enterprises. We aim firstly at ensuring that we develop enterprises that are viable, that are financially sustainable, but that are also economically beneficial. On the other hand, we want to make sure that communities actually benefit from these enterprises. Within the project, what we are aiming for is to have at least 30 community forests within this pilot enterprise setup to function, basically. It doesn't mean that all of them will be 100% successful, but at least let's have 30 functional enterprises. Within that, we also want to set up a transparent accountability system wherein we can see how communities are performing. We can see how communities are doing in terms of a set of criteria that are important for measuring performance, because this is a program that is really set around delivery and performance based. So we need to look at how they are performing in a very transparent and consistent way. That's why we have what we call the field monitoring system that tracks performance of all of the communities.
Within the Dryad project, the main contact between forest communities and ICRAF are what we call local NGOs that we call in the project IOs. The local NGOs, their role is basically to assist these forest communities to develop the investment memorandum, their business plans, and also work with these communities in order to make sure that they implement their business plan as programmed, as developed. And within the project as of now, we have developed about 29 different enterprises, and out of these enterprises there are about 4 different categories. There are enterprises centered around non-timber forest products, that is collection and sales of non-timber forest products. There are other categories of enterprises related to timber exploitation. There are other categories of enterprises related to agricultural activities and agroforestry, basically developing agricultural activities like plantain, cocoyams, pistache. We have other types of enterprises that are related to service sector like ecotourism. So in this typology of enterprises, about 10 of them are related to non-timber forest products.
When we look at the community forest context in Cameroon, there are important things that we really need to keep in mind. The community forests in Cameroon basically are within the non-permanent forest estates. This is like a kind of secondary forest which is really not as virgin as the permanent forest estate. So agriculture can take place in those areas, logging can take place in those areas, and different livelihood activities, including farming, can actually take place within that space. Community forests are managed in agreement with the government, where the community becomes a legal entity and organizes themselves in such a way that they get into agreement with the government to manage a maximum of 5,000 hectares of forest, which is still in the non-permanent forest estates. So within the Dryad framing, we are actually trying to enable these communities actually, or to some degree, build their capacity so that they know how to better manage the forest. They know how to actually create enterprises from the forest so that deforestation, which is actually usually driven by slash and burn agriculture or different forms of agricultural expansion, does not lead to the depletion of the forest.
The Dryad project is a performance-based financing system where community forest enterprises are evaluated based on their environmental, economic, and social performance. In order to do so, data is to be collected on a monthly basis. This data will give indications on the progress of community forest enterprises as time goes on. The field monitoring system, which is a system of collecting data thanks to information and communication technology, is often used, will be used in the framework of this project. The field monitoring system is made up of 3 or 4 components. We have the main component, which is used to collect data, which is a phone. Data is entered, information is entered in a questionnaire in this phone. This data is entered in communities where we don't have internet and electricity is usually difficult. So it has to be connected to a main server through internet. That is why the SATCOM device is used. This SATCOM device connects the phone to the internet, permitting data to be transmitted to the server, aircraft server in Yaoundé, which can be collected and analyzed to evaluate the performance of the community forest enterprise. Rural communities face a regular problem of electricity problems. That is why we use a solar panel device to charge.
The Dryad project is a golden opportunity for us to really apply on large scale the tree domestication of high-value fruit trees and other forest timber we have been developing for the last 20 years. So after reviewing all the business plan, we were impressed to see that farmer decided to focus mainly on non-timber forest products like ginseng, bush mango, and so on. Now that we have the technique, everything, how we know how to capture and to multiply the high-value plant, the fruit trees, selected the good material according to trade desired by market and so on. I think this will give us good opportunity to give a real value, economical value to community forest by involving farmer in the planting, the management, and the exploitation, and even the transformation of non-timber forest product. By so doing, we believe that we would diversify and really change this trend which wanted the farmer to only focus on timber exploitation. Forestry is not only timber. Forest is also non-forest timber, fruit trees, medicinal plant, and other uses which the farmer really like. And I strongly believe that through this project, we will definitely move to improvement of livelihood of local population. Where I recall how the rural resource centers are working. We have some rural resource centers created 15 years ago. They generated a lot of income. And through this money, this income, farmers could change their own life, improve the standing of houses, send their children to school, have a better health, and so on. So we believe that through Dryad project, farmer will be dealing not only with timber exploitation, with non-timber forest product, which they plant, and this will assure the sustainability of this material in the forest zone.
Dryad is one component of the overall Improving Livelihoods and Land Use in the Congo Basin project. There's 2 other components. One is specific to DRC, which is concerned about the land governance and land tenure and implementation of the community forestry legislation. Then we have a component which is led by IIED, which covers the 6 countries of the Congo Basin, from Cameroon, Gabon, Central African Republic, Republic of Congo, and the Democratic Republic of Congo itself. The activities there are delivered by a range of NGOs and concentrating on kind of lesson learning and inputting and ensuring that community forestry is a legitimate form of activities within each country. The Dryad component, which is specific to Cameroon, is concerned about ensuring that community forests and the communities that live within them have the ability to manage their resource in ways that is sustainable. It is trying to achieve a community forestry enterprise which can pump then the profits back into the community and establish some social capital. It takes a very unique payment by results approach, where it's trying to set up the community forestry enterprise.